the original trilogy books. You'd be surprised, actually. I do have several. I've got. So let's see. I've got the 3 Shakespeare versions. I've
And you got those all at a thrift shop?
No. The only hardcore purchases were the Shakespeare ones. I got them from I got them from Barnes and Noble. But every other book, every other book is from thrift stores.
All right.
Yeah. So. My bookshelf it looks so healthy right now.
Doesn't it feel so? I love collecting books.
I do. I absolutely love it. I have 60 books on my shelf now.
60.
Jeez.
I don't have. So I just put together my own bookshelf in the back. It's been like up and around for a couple of. I've had it for a long time. So my grandmother-in-law, if you can follow that, decided that my kitchen looked like it needed something. So she went out and bought us a bookshelf. And like at first I was like, I don't want a bookshelf. Don't give me a bookshelf. But like, and then I let go of my pride and I was like, okay, this is freaking awesome. And this lady is amazing. But like it's one of those things. It's like it's from IKEA, and so we've taken it down and put it back together so many times that we've lost like all the parts. But like finally, I put it back together here in my basement, in my man cave. It's coming along, Niv. It's coming along.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I just the books. I just wish I had more time to sit down in the studio and actually, read some more.
Yeah.
Because I think I've only done like 7 chapters of Allegiance, and I need to get that. I want to get that finished because I've got the book that comes immediately after it, the Timothy Zahn novel that is the sequel to that book.
Yeah.
And I haven't read it yet. So when I read it for the first time, I'm going to read it and record it and dump it on my channel, because that's what I've been doing recently.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, I think
that's my side project.
A lot of I've actually been debating on what I want to do. I do love playing Star Wars stuff, and I love live streaming. I don't want to stop YouTubing or anything like that, but I just don't know what to do, And like I think about that a lot. I'm like, where is my channel going? Where am I going with this channel? And it's a hard thing. I think a lot of people end up quitting YouTube because they don't know what to do.
I just think, come up with something random. I hadn't done anything on my channel for literally for months and months and months and months and months. And I've wanted to just pick up my books and start reading them and record myself. Yeah. So that there's me. There is me recording, reading stories, on my YouTube channel. And if all I get out of it, me reading these books, is that my grandkids, and maybe even my great grandkids, can see me and watch me read them a story, it'd be all worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it for the shits and giggles, basically. It's for funsies. It's literally for funsies. It's like I have a channel, and I can do it. It's a hobby. If other people watch it, great. If other people don't watch it, I really couldn't give a rat's ass. But when my kids have kids and their kids have kids, they will always. It's like, oh, so what was Granddad? What was Granddad Neil like? Or what was what was your dad like, Mum? What was your granddad like, Mum? And it's like, well, you can actually go and see them and listen to them if you like, because they read a bunch of stories. You could go and watch them read you a story, sort of thing. That kind of thing. So yeah.
So Dark Jill is over on YouTube. Asks, did he miss it? I mean, you missed the Swugga live stream, but you're in time for the battle. Ooh, that guy's just sitting right there. Hold on. See him? Boom! 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 He didn't see me. Sorry. Yeah, I was getting my butt kicked in Swugga, so I was like, I need something else. I need a win. Actually, again, I didn't get my butt kicked, which is so weird to say, because usually, I'm not great. And so to come out as, 2-1, I mean, it's a victory. But
that is a very, very good week for you. That
yeah,
2-1 is always a good week for you.
yeah,
Because normally it's a wooden spoon, or it's 1 and 2, or it's a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2-1 is good for you. I mean, one of these days you'll get 3-0.
Oh, sure. Sure.
You'll surprise us all.
And everyone will be like, "What?" And I'm like, "I told you the whole time."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I just but no, I just feel like I hadn't played. I was feeling like I needed a little bit of a change, and so here I am.
Yeah, I did some Rogue Squadron and some Super Mario Kart live streaming last night. Yeah, so that was fun.
Like the thing about it is, I just like playing video games, and if I'm terrible at it.
Have you put RetroArch on your Steam yet or not?
RetroArch, I have not.
Yeah. Right, okay. You need to put RetroArch. You've got Steam, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, RetroArch is now free and available on Steam.
What is RetroArch?
RetroArch is a piece of software that allows you to play emulators. So it lets you play SNES games and NES games and Master System games and Mega Drive games and PlayStation 1 games and Dreamcast games and Saturn and Nintendo and arcade and basically everything.
What?
So yes, so if I can walk you, I can talk you through putting that on your Steam. Now here's the thing: if you've got it on your Steam and I've got it on my Steam, we can do a co-play and we can do Super Mario Kart against each other.
Oh, that would be tight.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just have to be one; it can be more. I think. I'm not sure.
That would be tight. So the first role playing game that I ever got into, and like all of my what is that on the ground? I'm gonna shoot it. There's like a monkey lizard on the ground, chasing this. I don't even care about. Oh, it's gonna blow it up with the grenade. Oh, that did not.
I thought you said you were good at this. The animal is getting away.
Good is a relative term, my friend. Let's do assault. I'll do the assaulter guy. Anyways, so the first game that I ever got into that was like role playing, Shining Force.
Oh yeah, no, I played Shining Force.
Like
one of my favorite games is Shining the Holy Ark on the Sega Dreamcast, on the Sega Saturn. Sorry.
Is that one of the ones that looks just like Star Wars Squadrons?
No. Shining the Holy Ark is the follow-on from Shining Force. So you had Shining Force, Shining Force 2, Shining Force 3, and they were on Sega, but they were on the Sega. They were on the Sega Mega Drive. And that was 1 and 2, and Shining Force 3 was a Sega CD.
Yep.
And then obviously the Sega Mega Drive was the 16-bit console, and then all of the 32-bit consoles came out. That was the Sega Saturn and the place. Well, obviously there was the Nintendo 64 at the same time. Nintendo, but but so the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation both came out, and they were 32-bit. And Shining the Holy Ark was the follow-on from Shining Force 3. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Little bit of gaming history for you.
Yeah.
Look at us nerding out on our video, talking about video games.
It's almost
here's the thing. I download once you've got RetroArch installed on Steam.
Yeah.
I have the folders. I have a compressed folder because I sent it to Paul I sent it to Flare, and I sent it to Ninja Chucks as well, which puts, because when you download and install RetroArch on Steam, you only get the 10 emulators with it. So you only get 10 consoles with it.
Okay.
But I have on file on my PC all the emulators that run on it. So, I send you that, and then all you need to do is get the same games that I play, and then we can do a dual stream. And, we can do things like Super Mario Kart, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. We can do some, co-play, when you got the co-play 2-player games, so like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Final
those
Fight.
Were awesome! Yeah. Oh, I loved those games. Oh, who's shooting?
And we can just do something. We can just, do stuff, and get it on. You know, doesn't take that long. And like I said, I can talk you through the folder that you have to
install, remove.
But you don't have to install or remove anything. All you're doing is unzipping the folder and then dumping all of the files from that folder into the install folder, the app data folder for RetroArch, and then that's it. And then every time you launch RetroArch and you load a core, that's what loading an emulator is. You load a core. Yeah, that's what it's called.
All right.
And then you select. So once you've loaded the core, then you load the game, and obviously you load the game corresponding to the console. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the dog is barking. Hang on, I'll be right back.
You're good. You're good. So that was Nev. He'll come back to us here in a moment. You can catch. Oh, he just ran me over. Oh, nope, someone else killed me. That was entirely different. So Nev is from the Escape Pod cast and the Castaways Network. Love those guys. Mostly Swugga, right? But we were just, as we were talking, like, we got all kinds of other stuff that we play. And I'm getting shot like a crazy person. Hello, Nev. Welcome back.
It disconnected me.
Yeah, it did. Almost immediately. It was like, you're done.
That was weird. And I didn't hang it up. That was freaky.
Yeah, it did not care for you.
It did not.
No, Nev. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to hang out. So, Star Wars related news. Mm-hmm. Did you see? Oh, who is that? That George Lucas has done an interview. Oh, I got Ray. He did an interview with a bunch of little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be that he is not pleased with the direction that Lucasfilm is currently going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the interview?
I watched parts of it. So I'm going to watch it. Oh, holy crap! Sorry, I just got slaughtered by Ray. Speak of the devil. But I watched part of it, and like, to be honest, it's his wife being interviewed, and like someone asks him a question. It's like, hey, with everything going on, what are your thoughts on this topic? And it was like, what are your thoughts on like the new state of? I can't even remember the question, and because it wasn't a direct, hey, do you like the new movies? I mean, it wasn't as blatant as that, and he was very diplomatic about it. But you could tell that there were some things that he may not care for. And like, that's the thing, is it's like, in all fairness, he sold his right.
I'm sure he's getting some residuals, but that residuals that he's getting will only be like a single-digit percentage.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because like I mean, the rumors have it that he's, if you believe Mike Zero or not,
No.
no, but not just Mike Zero. Other rumors have that he is going to be a main part of uh, the Filoniverse moving forward.
Mhm.
Um,
I will never, ever, ever, as long as I live, I will never understand why he didn't just sell Lucasfilm to Disney for a not controlling um, not controlling stock, not a controlling amount of shares, but just under controlling amount of shares. So
yeah,
40%. It's
I
like
I think it was.
that, because if it was me, I wouldn't have taken the money. I'd have said, "Give me 40% of Disney, and you can have it."
Yeah, you mean give it 40% to Disney and you can have it?
No, no, no. For Disney, give him 40% of
Oh yeah,
Disney.
yeah. Like so that he's not um like he's still giving he still has a big portion of it.
Well, no,
Um
he
he
wouldn't
doesn't
have
now,
had
but
yeah, no, he wouldn't have. You sell everything, the control of everything, but what you get is 40% of Disney. So you're selling 100% of Lucasfilm, but you're getting 40% of
oh,
Disney, and Disney controls Lucasfilm. So if things start to go in a direction that you don't like, you can use your power as a shareholder to
ah,
and get the extra 10%, the extra 10% plus one shareholder to side with you on any decisions the direction of Disney has to take.
I see, and I could see that for like if see I don't there's no way they would have done
Yeah, no, I mean that we'll never know. That's one of the reasons why I kind of I get very very that's one of the reasons why I don't understand why people do or say or make some of the decisions they make or the way they react. It's like, if you want to affect change within a private company, put your money where your mouth is.
that.
Go and buy shares, buy
Yeah, and
stock in the company, and buy the influence within the company that you so desire. Instead of,
yeah,
this product's crap, let's boycott it. It's like
no,
that's going
it's
to
not
have
gonna work.
such an infinitesimal
Yeah,
pull. It's like, instead of amassing 10,000 people to hit dislike on a YouTube video, why don't you say, hey, 10,000 people, let's all put $50 in and we'll buy some shares in
yeah,
Disney.
yeah. Then
And
and
then,
that would
as
be
a
a much
shareholder, yeah, exactly, as a shareholder, you have a 100% legitimate voice that the company
yep.
has to listen to because you're a shareholder. They don't have to listen to people writing comments on
No, no, they
YouTube
don't.
videos. They don't have to Bob, a video gets downvoted. I'm sure Bob Iger's quaking in his, leather seal boots.
Yeah,
Or,
his custom
but
baby skin leather
exactly.
suit.
It's custom, yeah, exactly. But if he gets a telephone call and his secretary's like, "Oh yeah, we've got one of the minority shareholders on the phone," and Bob Iger's like, "Well, how much have they got?" "Well, they're one of the 10% shareholders." Bob Iger
Yeah,
takes that call.
yeah,
Bob Iger takes that call, and the one person speaks to him and goes, "Look, we're not really particularly happy with the way
yeah,
this intellectual property is going at the moment. It should be making us, 1 billion a year, and at the moment it's only making us 100 million a year.
yeah.
Clearly it's being mismanaged. We want our money's worth. Do something about it.
Exactly.
Change the management, get the ship back on track." And
Yeah,
people just, and it's like, "Oh, let's cancel them, oh, let's boycott them,"
and that's not gonna work.
and all I'm thinking is, put your money where your mouth is.
Hmm.
You think you can organize 10,000 people? See if you can get 10,000 people to put their money where their mouth is. Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna buy 1% stock in Disney, and we're gonna keep on adding to it. And I'm gonna, and then they have to hear us because we're shareholders, and they
yeah,
have to listen to what we want.
absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah, and I'm telling you, man, that's the best thing. If you want to make a change, you've got to be in there, right? And the part of the video, and I will say that I don't remember entirely, because I do need to sit back, and I plan on sitting back and watching the whole thing here in the next like after the stream. I'll probably watch the first part, and then after, probably tomorrow, I'll finish it. But like, he does say, George Lucas, something to that effect, that it's like, look, you can do this or you can do that, but why is that not working?
Yeah. It's like, people keep going on about all these, these big companies that have got the monopolies, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, should we get the government to do this, or should we not get the government to do that? And all I'm thinking is, instead of talking about it, why don't you just go speak to some of your wealthy millionaire and billionaire friends and say, look, you can see where this company's going at the moment. I feel that, if we got together a couple people with 2 billion, we could buy enough shares to actually, enact some change in it. Because it's one of the things that does my head in about, and it really, really does. I mean, you know me. I'm a voluntarist. I will have jabs at both, the political ideologies on the left and the right. And right now, I'm poking fun at the right, because all they do is whinge and whine and moan about getting deplatformed. Which, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. But instead of reversing it by getting together their wealthy and powerful friends and going, right, well, let's just buy a controlling share in Twitter. Let's just buy some shares in Facebook. Hey, hang on a minute. Let's dump a couple of billion in shares of Amazon so that we're on the shareholders' boards and we can actually get some change done. Instead, they're like, oh, we're all about the free market, but the free market's not working at the moment because, we're getting censored and we're getting deplatformed. And I'm like,
so
do something about it. Grow a pair. Stop whinging and whining and go and buy some bloody shares in those companies.
And make a difference.
Doesn't matter which tech giant it is. And then they have to listen to you, because spouting off on YouTube, making comments on Twitter, and just generally whining about the power that Google and Amazon and Twitter and Facebook
will never change anything.
Buy some bloody shares.
Yeah.
Because if you've got sufficient enough shares, I'm damn sure that Zuckerberg is going to be taking your phone call.
Yeah.
Because the last thing he wants is shares getting dumped.
Yeah.
And crashing the stock price.
Yeah.
Because that's what had happened. Think about if you owned 10% in shares, and granted 10% in shares is going to be, several $100 million. There are people on the right with that kind of disposable income, in their short change pocket. So they buy 10% of one of these big giants, and it's like, we want some changes. These are the changes that we want to see. And if you don't, I'm going to dump my stock and crash the price. Because if they sold all 10%, it would drop the price down. Then what happens? Somebody else on the right comes in with their $200-300 million, but they buy the 10% at a lower price because the price has gone down. And it's, it's basically short, it's like shorting the market.
Yeah.
And, which is why I don't think, half the people that complain about it, and it's not just, don't get me wrong, it's not just politicians and it's not just pundits, it's YouTube commentators as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that, that do complain about censorship on YouTube and on Google and on Twitter, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, you've got 100,000 followers, dude, you've got 500,000 subscribers, dude, you've got 1 million subscribers. If you don't like the way that YouTube is going, then buy some bloody shares in it.
Yeah.
Go, do a YouTube video that says, right, if like me, and you probably, you like my content, you're subscribed to it. Me and a couple of other YouTubers are starting a little bit of action. We're going to put together a group and we're going to pool all of our resources and we're going to buy shares. If you want to join in, head on over to this website and, make a pledge for, X amount of dollars, and then you'll get part of it. I see.
You know why they don't, though, right? And this is something that it bothers me because it's people think or they don't think that they're important enough or that they can do anything, that's an issue because they don't they don't think that that little bit of an effort will make a difference, and they're not okay with it being just a small difference. They want it to be fixed right away, whatever the issue is. But
too many people want instant gratification.
yeah, yeah, and so we're at a point where it's like if you it's like when you YouTube or stream at all. Like, look, if you just do it, then people will start showing up. You know, it won't be
they will come.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they won't all come at once, and maybe not a lot of them will show up. Like right now, I'm looking at my numbers. I got 2 people, and I think one of them is me, to be honest.
And the other one's probably me.
Yeah, and so, but like, is this?
Well, I just left YouTube to switch over to Twitch.
Yep, one's you and one's me. So there's 2 people on, and it's like, look, if you want to make a difference, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to do, right? And
yeah,
you
well,
can't just sit back and say someone else will take care of it.
I use the term "put your money where your mouth is" because I think, and I'm very very specific about that term. Put your money where your mouth is because that's what you have to do in a voluntary society.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only, that's the way that's the way that you do it. Everything is done by not just the individual but collective bargaining. So that's just the way it is. You're in a nice little cul-de-sac and your road's crap. You put some asphalt down and you tamp the stuff down yourself. You're shopkeepers and you've got a strip, but there's nowhere for anybody to park. You find the nearest piece of land, you buy it, you put a damn car park on it. Instead of I want to get in touch. We should get in touch with the municipal town and ask them to build a car park here for us. It's like, do it your fucking self. Everybody seems to want to go straight government for an answer.
Yeah.
Except when the companies that are doing the things that are pissing off some people aren't pissing off other people. Like private organization, and I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a private organization, and they should be allowed to do what they want. And the people that don't like what they do should be able to do whatever is in their capacity to enact some change. It's just like we said, like we're discussing, that there is no will for it. And people just want to whinge and moan and say the government should do something. And it's like, yeah, really, you really want a government entity being in charge of what can and cannot be on the internet? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I just don't think so.
Nope.
I mean, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It's like, oh, we need the government to regulate and make rules, and it's like, so you don't like the way the rules are at the moment, and it's a private company.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think you're going to like the rules that the government puts on it?
Yeah, and like that's
and here's the thing: the company rules are enforced by, if you don't like it, you can leave. Rules enforced by the government are they're pointing a gun at you when it's like, you're going to get fined. If you don't pay the fine, we'll come and collect it, and if you don't get it, that we'll haul you in front of a judge and he'll send you to jail for not following the rules. See, right now you can't be sent to jail for breaking the rules by I'm talking about breaking the terms of service, not breaking actual laws. If you use that platform, those mediums, and you break the law, then yes, but I'm just talking about the terms of service. If you break the terms of service, because it's a private company's terms of service, that you just sever all ties. When you break the terms of service of something run by the government, that's either an offence or a crime. And you will be punished for so No, no, no. That's a
It's
big no-no as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I agree.
Ah.
And yeah, it's just there's just so much. I think, and like the thing about it is, I think there's way more that connects us as people that divides us.
Mhm.
You know, and like I just think that if we were to sit down logically as a people, then we could say, yeah, this is what let's come to an agreement. You know.
Yeah. Oh, and in small localized, in small localized decentral areas, yeah, sure that you can do that. But you couldn't do that across the population of the planet
No, I don't
because
think you could either.
we're not all. You need, at first you need a moral and ethical baseline, and that is impossible to create
Yeah.
because different cultures have different ethics
Sure.
and morals.
Sure.
So that's difficult. But I mean, I argue that you could. The one and only baseline that you can that you could come up with is a position of voluntarism, and then you can do whatever you want after that. So universally preferable behaviour, basically,
Yeah.
and all interactions are voluntary. You start with that as your baseline, and you can put on top of that whatever you want. It's like, well, we're a country and we want to be communist, and it's like, well, sure, you can do that if you want. And people, so what? You're not. Well, no, we're not going to. If that's what you want to do, then you can do it. But what
Yeah.
you can't do is impose communism on everybody else, because remember, the baseline is voluntarism. So
Yeah.
if you've got a country that neighbors you and they don't want to be like you can't force it upon them. And if you try, then they'll use whatever means necessary to get rid of you. And nobody's going to stick up for you
Yeah.
because no one's going to want to, no one's going to interact with no one's going to want to interact with you.
Yeah.
But that's just. I mean, it's that's one of the drawbacks of law is there's always unintended consequences,
Sure.
negative consequences. You know, I mean, I had this discussion once with somebody, and we were discussing the unintended consequences of the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
And what was going on there? It's like government that the unintended consequences of the Jim Crow laws were people who wanted to serve people,
Yeah.
regardless of age, sex, or race, couldn't do it because the law said they weren't allowed to do it, and if they did it, they'd be punished by the law for doing it.
Yeah.
And then the complete reversal of that, which again is completely and utterly wrong, is you then get this. So the initial side is someone that wants to serve everybody, but the law prohibits them from doing that. And then the complete opposite to that is somebody who doesn't want to serve certain types of people,
Yeah.
but the law forces them to. And
Yeah.
I'm sat here thinking to myself, that guy's an asshole. He's a racist, bigot, business owner. And you want people that, you don't want people to spend money in that business. You
Yeah.
just don't. Because you're thinking to yourself, yeah, you know what? There's another store that sells exactly what you sell,
Just
and
down the road.
the just down the road, and the owner's not a bigot. And
Yeah.
you are, and I don't. But the law forces him to serve everybody. So there are people spending money in his store that are blissfully unaware
Yep.
that they're giving money to a racist bigot. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you put people in a situation where they're actually giving money to somebody that if they knew what his thoughts really were, they'd be like, yes, we are. We're going to go get our stuff from the shop down the road. We're not going to get it from that store anymore. But you don't know that because the law forces the owner of that business to sell to everybody, including groups that, he is bigoted towards. And it's just, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the divides just that seems to be happening more and more and more and more and more now. And I'm just thinking to myself, this cannot end well.
No, and it won't end well.
It cannot end well, and I don't see it in stocks and shares. When a stock goes up and up and up and up and up, every now and then you get something, and it's common. It's referred to as a correction, because when something is valued more than it is, and the people with this, it's like, yeah, let's sell a few because the price is really, and you have a correction, and then it does up and down and up, and you get these corrections. We need a correction right now.
Yeah.
Culturally, we need a correction right now, but it won't come because the two extreme sides don't want a correction because they think that they can, win doing it the way that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at us getting all deep.
Mm-hmm. While playing Star Wars. Or well, you're watching me lose.
You're playing Star Wars. I'm watching you die because you're a stormtrooper, and stormtroopers are useless.
Well, I'm useless as a stormtrooper.
Right. Why are you the bad guys?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question. Why are any of us the bad guys? No, because I chose the bad guys. Is probably the short answer. But I'm a trooper, man. I'm a clone. The clones weren't the bad guys.
Oh, you're a clone trooper. Yeah. The clone. They were the bad guys.
I mean, they were at the end. They clearly were at the end. But what happened? Did my internet back out? Oh no, the connection to the game has been lost. Check your internet settings, mother fudge cookies. Anyways, Nev.
Everything that the clone troopers did was immoral. Everything.
Yeah. Not everything. Not everything.
No. Literally everything.
As a group.
Oh no! Don't get me started on the Clone Wars era, mate. Not from a voluntarist point of view. You had a Galactic Republic, and you had the Galactic Republic, and you had the Separatists. Separatist is the important word in that name. Separatist. They wanted to separate peacefully, without violence, and the Galactic Republic were like, no, it's like that'd be like, can you imagine? Do you think that the United States of America would call all out war on a state if they decided they wanted to secede from the Union?
Hey, don't bring Texas into this. Don't bring Retro Gang. What's up, man? No, of course they would. Of course they would.
I've had many philosophical discussions about that Clone Wars era and how the Galactic Republic were in the wrong to go to war. It's like, oh, we've got 1 million clone troopers.
Computer.
Sod it. Let's use them.
Well, they didn't have them at first, but then old.
No, they have them. But they had them before they started. The Clone Wars only begun because they had 1 million clones. If they didn't have 1 million clones and a bunch of ships, the Clone Wars would never have begun.
That's true.
Because they would have had to have asked real people to join, to volunteer and join the Galactic Republic army. They never had.
They would never have had support.
Every show, every movie, who were the civilians? Everything was a clone except for some of the the Jedi generals and some original military officers like Tarkin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Apart from that, do you see anybody do any fighting in the Clone Wars except for clones?
You do, but they're always like if you look at Ryloth.
You're talking about resistances.
Yeah, you have resistance, but that's the thing is it's their resistance, and then the Jedi come in and help. But ultimately, they tend to make them worse.
Yeah, no, and separatist occupation of certain planets was done as a result of requiring those planets or those locations for a strategic region, for strategic reasons. There would never have been a strategic necessity for a region or a planet if the Galactic Republic had not declared war on the separatist organization and the planet. So everything leads back to the unintended consequences of the clones being willing and able to fight, and take orders, and being a million of them, and the Galactic Republic declaring war on the Separatists.
Valid. That's a good point.
Yeah, see, I do. I have my moments.
Yeah, they're few and far between, Nev. But no, that's a good point. I mean, without them having done it, but that's not. I would argue that's not the fault of the clones, because they are the tools, right?
Yes, they are the tools, but at no point did anybody try to get through to them and say, "Look, guys, if you don't fight, if you refuse your orders and don't fight, the war doesn't happen.
But they couldn't have
does
done
not
that,
happen."
That's the whole point. They were bred to not be.
They were bred to be. Yes, they were bred to be. They were bred to be obedient, which is why you can't just say, "Oh, I'm just going to follow orders." That doesn't work. It's not a good argument.
Well,
so
it's not a good argument.
Clone troopers just say, I'm bred to follow orders. It's like, no, you know how to think for yourself. Is the war that you're fighting for, morally and ethically right? Was there, are you fighting for a side because somebody came in and started destroying planets that you're supposed to be protecting, or are you the aggressors? And they were the aggressors.
They were the aggressors.
They were the aggressors. And, at no point did the Jedi think to themselves, should we just let the Separatists go? You know what? I think there'd be a lot less bloodshed if we just let the Separatists go. And it's like, yeah, but it's just a droid army. Let's just go kill a droid army. It's like, yeah, but clones will die. And so big whoop, some clones will die and some droids will die.
Well, that's the problem you saw with, I forget his name, but that one general, the Jedi general with 4 arms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but it's the same. He doesn't view clones as life,
Yeah.
Or as having life. They are clones, right? And that's why he kept sending wave. You know what he was? Now that I'm thinking about it, he was the Zap Brannigan of Star Wars.
Who's that?
So from Futurama.
Oh right, I wasn't a big Futurama fan.
Oh, you're missing.
I was Simpsons and I was Family Guy and American Dad.
Okay.
Fodder.
Okay. Thank you for the donation. It was Krell. That's right. So Krell.
Is somebody chatting on YouTube? Are they?
No, it's I got a super chat from my boy over in Tokyo, not Tokyo. He's in Japan.
No, I'm gonna turn the Twitch off and go back to YouTube. That's all.
But Krell didn't view them as, and this is actually, he didn't view them as like as human or as beings, as sentient, I guess. But this is actually the legitimate problem with the High Republic, right? And it's not the books, it's not the stuff they're trying to push, it's the time period that they've chosen, right? They have to show the downfall of the Jedi, right? The arrogance of the Jedi. And that's not going to be something that people like to see, right? You've got Krell, you've got these characters who, I said Krell, you've got these characters who are supposedly for the greater good, right? Holy crap, it's a droid again. And the issue with that is you've got to show them as arrogant. You've got to show them as foolish, as idiots, as going against what they know to be right.
There's one. There's the word you're looking for is fallible. They have to be seen to be fallible because all human beings, whether they're Jedi or not, or whether they're Force sensitive or not, they're fallible because they're people.
Exactly.
You know, they're not all human. Some of them are alien, but they're all sentient beings with conscience.
And with conscience comes
exactly, with conscience
mistakes.
comes mistakes, comes
Fallibility.
fallibility.
Yeah, and that's a problem, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, and I say that, but because to be honest, I'm not as opposed to the High Republic as a lot of people are. There's a lot of people out there that really dislike it. It's not as bad as all that. I mean, it's not great. I won't lie. I wasn't a huge fan, but it's not the worst book. They're not the worst books I've ever read.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the books. I've only done 2 of the comics, but they weren't enthralling enough for me to want to pick up the 3rd.
Yeah, but again, part of the issue is they're focusing on a time period it's just going to be straight problematic. Because it's, like you're focusing on something that like people love, like throughout this time period, you're going to have to show Yoda as an idiot, and maybe not an idiot. I mean, that's probably wrong, but like you're going to have to show Yoda as being arrogant enough or foolhardy enough to think that either he's not needed or that the Jedi are in a good place. And that is going to be something that people don't want to see. So.
Oh yeah. Oh
man!
What other Star Wars news is floating around out there at the moment?
That
is being analyzed incorrectly.
Oh, analyzed incorrectly? I don't know, man. There's so much stuff out there right now that it's so hard.
I was out shopping all day, so I didn't really touch on any Star Warsy type.
I'd get shot in the back. That's what was happening.
No, I was more interested in finding little Star Wars nuggets of gold.
As you should have been.
Oh yeah.
So Retro Gang points out that you've got the Count Dooku, you've got Ahsoka, you've got these great Star Wars characters, these Clone Wars characters that show the arrogance of the Jedi, that you don't necessarily need all of all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that's the problem,
though. Yeah, I still, because the height of the old Republic, because obviously they're talking about the High Republic.
Yeah.
And it's like let's just create a whole new thing, because before they created out of thin air the High Republic, it was the Old Republic, and then it became the Galactic Republic.
Yeah.
And there was a transition from one to the other, and the transition from the one to the other wasn't the High Republic.
Yeah,
it just wasn't. So if you've read the graphic novels and the comics, the Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Jedi, Legends of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, if you've read all of that stuff, you know what the Jedi were like during the Old Republic era.
Yeah.
And we know what the Jedi were like during the Galactic Republic era too.
Yeah.
Now, showing a transition from one to the other is fine. But just saying, oh, this time period is now the High Republic, it's brand new canon, it's like, well, that's fine. But what you could have done, instead of just calling it the High Republic and getting everyone's heckles up, is you could have just done the Old Republic.
The Old Republic. And that would have made way more sense.
If they just kept referring to it as the Old Republic.
Or the Republic.
Mm-hmm. And maybe pulled like Filoni used to do with the Rebels and with the Clone Wars, is just every now and then just pull something out of the extended universe.
Yeah.
and then expand on it and open up on it. I mean, he did the Witches of Dathomir, and they became the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
You know,
Is
that's
that
from the extended universe? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's from the book The Courtship of Princess Leia.
Oh,
The Courtship. Yeah, the book The
I
Courtship
have it.
of
I've
Princess
never read it.
Leia is about Han courting Leia, and one of the things that he does, because he doesn't have money or wealth or anything like that, he engages in a sabacc game, and he just keeps letting it ride and trying to clock up as much money as possible, and then he puts all of the money that he's got in a sabacc game against someone for a planet, and that planet was the planet Dathomir.
Ah, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. And Dave Filoni took that from the extended universe and put it into Clone Wars.
Interesting. Go Dave Filoni.
Yeah. So this High Republic could have just been the Old Republic.
Yeah, I agree. And it should have been.
See, if they'd started from that before they came up with any stories or any outlines or any ideas, if they just said, "Oh, we're going to do some, we're going to do some Old Republic stuff," fans would have been like, "Oh, brilliant! You're going to do another era of the Old Republic. That's great."
Yeah.
Instead, it's, "Oh, we're gonna do something, and
totally different.
It's totally different, and it's the High Republic," and we're like, "Well, hang on a minute, where does the High Republic fit in?"
Yeah.
We've never, in all of Star Wars literature, whether it be comic, graphic novel, or anything, there's never been a High Republic. So you're just trying to make something from scratch. If you'd said, "Oh, we're going to cover this 100-year period during of the Galactic Republic," people would have been like, "Oh yeah, I am pumped for that. I want to see what you're going to do in that area." We've not read a comic or a graphic novel or a book of the Galactic Republic, of the Old Republic from that era. This could be exciting. Instead of what they did, and what they did just fell on deaf ears, because it's like it's another jab at hardcore Star Wars fans that have read all of the books, and read the comic books and read the graphic novels from the 90s and noughties, and it's like, just and that's why I just there's nothing special. They're trying to make it out to be more special than it is. When if they just, here's the thing, if they just gone for something a little bit more low key and done as I suggested, called it the Old Republic, the Star Wars fan base would have made its own hype about it.
Oh yeah,
because as soon as they announced, "Oh, we're going to do a bunch of comics and we're going to do some books from the Old Republic era," that instantly, gets the spidey sense tingling on a very, very large swathe of hardcore fans of the books and the comics and the graphic novels. It would have, I'd have been, my mouth would have been watering. I'd have been like, "Oh, more Galactic, more Old Republic stuff, sweet."
Yeah,
because I love the Old Republic stuff, all that stuff that goes back 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years. That is awesome. And to just go back a few hundred years, that would have been just as awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But they did.
What's that in chat? KOTOR is the best Star Wars after the OG trilogy.
I love Rebels. I love the Rebel era. I love the Rebel era. I think they're great. And so that's actually one of the things that brings me a little bit of happiness, that they're talking about bringing what do you call her, Harrison Dula, into replace Cara Dune. And while I don't think you can replace Cara Dune as a character, I mean, I think you're gonna have issues for sure. Oh, balls! Everyone's dying.
Balls. Yeah. Yeah,
but
no,
anyways,
I don't believe any of that. So where did that rumor come from?
I don't know. I've CBR, I think the website, the comic website
Right.
CBR. Um,
Okay.
and not the least reputable. I'm gonna shoot that guy in the butt. I did. Did you see that? I shot that. I killed him by shooting him in the butt. I'm at least taking the credit for it. I may not have actually killed him, but
I didn't see that. I didn't see the rounds land. So and someone shooting back at you. So yeah,
he was facing the other way. So I mean,
you just made him angry.
Probably. He probably just felt like I activated a hemorrhoid or something. No, so like the idea of this, like Harris Syndulla, if anyone else was gonna do it, if they were gonna throw in anyone else to replace Cara Dune, Hera is the only one that could do it in my mind. Because and this is where a lot of people, like I've heard someone, I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Doomcock. It was oh, I can be a freaking Ewok. Oh, this is happening. I've never been an Ewok in a game like this. Oh, murder bears.
Yeah, keep going.
But no, so like if anyone was gonna take her place, because of who Hera Syndulla is, I'm already level 2. I haven't even done anything.
I mean, you understand why it won't happen, though, don't you?
I don't.
Well, they if you remember from season 1, they kind of squared that peg already during season 1 when they said that the New Republic doesn't come out this far because they've got their hands full they've got their hands full at the inner core. And that is the case. They have got their hands full. So why people think a general
well, that's
would a general would come, because she is, for all intents purposes, a commissioned officer. She is a general in the New Republic fleet.
Oh yeah, she's
they are
up
going
there,
they are going to have her and she's not just one of the lower newbie type generals, when they the way they throw general around, like the way that Finn and Poe were just made generals,
or Han became a general.
Yeah. They were captains and commanders, and they went up through the ranks just like Hera did. But you're talking like 8 years after Return of the Jedi. So she is, she, for all intents and purposes, she's going to be one of the high command within the Rebel fleet.
Oh yeah.
And somebody that is part of the high command isn't just going to show up in some random show about scoundrels and bounty hunters.
Well, that's the rumor.
On the edge of the galaxy, and I just explained to you why I think the rumor's complete and utter bollocks.
Well, that's the rumor that they're going with. Is it's not that they're doing they're changing the whole show. Everything, like they're changing
what show?
Balls. What's it called? Still play the. I'm joining up with Leia and the Ewok.
Are you talking about one of these other shows or something?
Yeah, not the Mandalorian. Not the Mandalorian.
Right. Okay, you're talking about the Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's they're not going to throw Cara Dune into Mando. That doesn't make any sense.
No. Now I could for Rangers of the New Republic, I could see cameos from Hera, because Rangers of the New Republic would involve some type of discussions with the top brass and the higher ups. Yeah. It's like, for example, perfect analogy would be Stargate SG-1.
Okay, haven't seen it.
Now, 90% of the show is the teams going through Stargates and having adventures and doing bits and pieces and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But every now and then, they'd be back on Earth and they'd have to report what they're doing in various different operations and stuff to the top brass. Now, the actors that played those generals weren't in it very often. You know, they were there to have discussions with and make make the bigger decisions, you know?
Yeah.
So I could see them casting an actress and putting Hera Syndulla into the show for that, but that is not a replacement for a Cara Dune character.
No, not even a little.
It's an extra character in the show that you could either have in it or not have in it. It is not a Hera Syndulla is a king general in part of high command. Her character, she is not a grunt. She is not a ground grunt. That does not replace Hera Syndulla. Is nowhere near a replacement for Cara Dune.
No,
Cara Dune is a foot soldier. She's not even officer material. She is a foot soldier. Hera Syndulla is high-ranking officer material.
Yeah.
You do not replace a on-the-ground grunt with a high command general. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's where Hera is in canon.
Yeah.
In canon. They can't, this isn't extended universe canon that it's like, oh, well, that's it. It's EU. We can change that canon. No. Hera Syndulla is top brass general in the current canon.
Yeah.
And they can't just change that.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
They can't just change that. Sabine
could. But Sabine's part of the Mandalorian. I mean, Sabine's a Mandalorian, so she's not going to be.
Yeah, no, she'll be doing that. She'll be doing the Mandalore stuff. So they either need to create a completely new character. Yeah. They need to create a completely new character, or they do, which is what I 100% fully expect them to do. And like I said, I'm betting Zeta's on my Phoenix on this. Cara Dune will be in the show. It's as simple as that.
I think she might not be wrong.
She will be recast as Cara Dune when it comes time to start principal photography, when that character is needed, and nobody will give a shit.
So you think that what's her face will stay in?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. They'll get back in touch with them. They'll be like, yeah, principal photography's. We need you for principal photography. It's time to start the next show, and she'll either be like, what? It's like, but it's like, well, no, we didn't fire you. You didn't work for us. We couldn't fire you. Yeah. You remember that rumor that everybody reported as true, and no one got any other source?
Yeah.
Nothing was confirmed. It was just that one quote, and it's still that one quote.
Yep. Because
the discussion was sidestepped at the shareholder meeting.
Yeah.
We are still doing everything based off that one quote in that one magazine. And that is why I think think of it this way, right? James Gunn was fired and then rehired.
Yep.
Gina Carano couldn't be fired because she didn't work for them at the time. And like I said to you, they are just going to keep their mouths shut. And 10 months down the line, when they need her for principal photography for the new show, that's what's going to happen. She's going to start it up again. And she'll either play the character, or she'll say to Disney, well, I have other commitments with the Daily Wire at the moment. I'm afraid I can't do it. You're going to have to delay filming.
Yeah, which they won't, or wouldn't.
Which they won't, but Gina Carano would instantly come back, because she'd be like, cancel culture, this bitches.
Yeah,
I'm back. Or she'd do some tweet dressed in a Cara Dune costume or something like that. Something naughty, like when Gwyneth Paltrow posted on Instagram in the armor that she wore in Endgame, which was very naughty of her. But yeah, no, she'll be back. She will be back. And like I said, I'm betting Zeta's on my Phoenix for it.
And that might not be a terrible choice.
Yeah.
With everything going on, I think.
Not if the Phoenix is needed for Bo-Katan, and I think it will be.
They will be.
I think it will be. You'll need Galactic Republic era characters. You'll need 5 Phoenix, and then and then you'll need some of the ancillary characters plus all of the Mando characters. Her epic confrontation is going to be massive.
Yep.
Absolutely massive. But it's going to be
fun. You think she'll be a galactic legend, or do you think she'll be...
No, she's going to be an epic. I've been saying that she's going to be an epic confrontation since last year, mate.
Really?
Yeah. I called this 3, maybe 4 months ago.
It would be cool to see an epic confrontation. I mean, that would be tight, because we haven't seen one of those since Revan, right?
Yeah, no, we're not going to get GLs this year. We're going to get 2 epic confrontations this year. That's what we're going to do.
So who would be the other?
Just like we got Malik and Gas as epic confrontation, and then they started giving us GLs. It's a breather for the GLs, and we're going to get some more epic confrontations.
That would be cool. I would be down with that.
It's easier to do 2 epic confrontations in a year because it's only 2 new characters. If they do 2 GLs, they've got to come up with 4 OP characters.
Yep.
A light side and a dark side. This way, it makes easier. Bo-Katan is epic confrontation and a light-sided character, and then they give us another epic confrontation towards the end of the year, around about December. That is the dark side. Now, I don't really want it to be Thrawn, because I think that Thrawn and Ahsoka will be galactic legends in 2022.
Yeah.
I genuinely do, and if it's not Ahsoka, then it would be Ezra.
It'll be interesting to who they do take, because
well, I think it will depend on the characters that we see in. I do think it will depend on the characters that we see in the Bad Batch.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I think it'll depend on the Bad Batch, because that starts in May.
Oh,
how many episodes
I'm so
is it?
excited.
How many episodes is it? Is it 12 episodes?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's go off the last season. If we go off the last season of Clone Wars, that was 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So if they do 12 episodes, that would be 3 months. So if it starts in May, that goes June, July, August. So we go all the way to August, and then the show is over, and they start throwing marquees from that show at us. The character that they leave out will be the one that is the epic confrontation at the end of the year. That's what I think. Because I think in May, I think May is when we're going to get the epic confrontation.
Yeah. I think something's coming in May. Solomon Grundy says over on YouTube, says that it's maybe Boba is the pairing for the epic competition. Are you talking? And I would love to see Dad Bod Boba in that one. I mean, because let's face it, every dad when they saw that man wearing that armor was like, yes, I'm still virile, right, or whatever.
Boba as the epic confrontation at the end of the year. You see,
that makes sense though.
Yes, but here's the thing, right? And it's a very important factor, especially with an epic confrontation Boba Fett from the Mandalorian Book of Boba phase. What tag does he get? Does he get light side, or does he get dark side?
Oh, he gets dark side.
Or does he get neutral? Could we see with Boba, you could, for all intents and purposes, see a No, they couldn't do light side.
They couldn't do light side.
They couldn't do an epic conflict. They couldn't do an OP character with a neutral tag, because then you wouldn't be able to use him in territory battles.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to spend money on a character they can't use in territory battles. So yeah, it'd have to be light side or dark side Boba.
Yeah. And just because he works with Din Djarin doesn't mean that he's a good guy. Like Din Djarin's, I mean, he's not a bad guy, but he's not a good guy by any means.
Yeah.
You know.
So could we get a light side epic confrontation Bob at the end of the year? I'm just kind of thinking if we get Bo-Katan, obviously she's light side, and I just think that they would go for a dark side epic confrontation at the end of the year.
I could see that. I mean, it'll balance one way or the other. You know.
Yeah. I just think that I think that the epic confrontation character for the end of this year would come from the Bad Batch, not from Mando Season 3 or the Book of Boba. I think that the epic confrontation character for the end of the year is going to come from
the Bad Batch.
Is going to come from the Bad Batch, because the obvious money-making decision is to release all 5 Bad Batch as marquees, which you will then need to farm in order to, do the epic. You're going to need them for the epic confrontation.
Yeah, and that would be so frustrating, or will be so frustrating. But I don't know,
but it'd be a good squad though.
Oh my gosh, it would be so much fun.
How many people would wail out on that straight away?
So many. I would have a hard time not wanting to. You know, I do a GoFundMe, and
here's the thing:
I wouldn't get it.
and the most surefire way to make the most money would be to release all 5 as marquees at the same time.
Oh yeah,
because people would, here's the thing: if you drip them out and do them one at a time, people will be like, I'm not going to farm it and I'm not going to buy it. I'll wait for other people to do it and see what it's like. Okay. And then one comes out, and then another, and another, and then people will pick and choose what they want to spend their money on.
Yeah.
But if you put all 5 out, everybody's going to be thinking these 5 have been released to be a squad together. So the mechanics, the specials, everything is going to be fine-tuned for those 5 to work. So it's not like wailing out on a character. It'll be wailing out on a squad.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're right. I think there's going to be some powerful characters coming. Like, if you just look at the Bad Batch, I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah. And we have precedents for this. We do have precedent for this.
Have we?
And that was the Old Republic characters for Jedi Knight Revan.
Oh. Yeah.
They were all released.
But they were within like a couple of months of each other. They weren't all released.
They were within weeks of one another. I think what I think happened was
that was during the Galaxy of Marquis.
I think Bindo and Basti came close together, and then they did Mission Zalbar and T3 all came. And if you remember, the packs, the whaling packs that were in the store were doubles. So you would buy a pack and you would get X amount of one or X amount of the other, remember?
Yeah.
Because that was how people wailed out on the characters to get Revan.
Yeah.
The second time around. They put packs in the store, and because Revan was, so good and so OP, that's why everybody was like, everybody wailed out on the remaining characters.
Yeah.
Everybody, the second time around, they made more money on Revan the second time around than they did the first time around, because everybody realized just how good those characters, that the characters themselves were crap, but they knew that by the wailing out on those 5 characters would get them Revan.
Yeah, the characters weren't crap.
Well, I mean in certain doses.
I mean, compared to what they are now, but I don't know, oh crap. But no, I think that get dead, sucker.
Just embrace your suckiness, okay, and keep going with the conversation.
I have, but I'm doing all right, man. This dude with this horny dude with Uh, he's with his Gatling gun, man. He's got some skills. People don't like him because, anyways. But yeah, like I think there's definitely potential. I won't. I like the idea of that, and I think it would be awesome to see. Like, just it would be freaking cool. And I think you're right. I think whatever happens, it's going to be it won't be Boba Fett. Boba Fett will be next year at the very earliest. You know.
Yeah. Hey, mate. Hey, for all we know, maybe we get a maybe we get an epic confrontation Sidious.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Maybe
what would an epic confrontation?
The Sidious that we've got at the moment is kind of crappy, isn't it?
He has his place, but it's not a good one.
No, I mean you've got yes he is Palpatine, but you got to remember that he didn't declare himself to be he didn't dissolve the Imperial Senate and declare himself Emperor until A New Hope.
Yeah.
So the start of the Bad Batch, he is still the
Sidious.
Supreme Chancellor.
Yeah.
So he can still he might still want to do his he might still want to do his Sidious thing.
Yeah.
And they could give us a much better much better Sidious.
And that's a valid point, because like the Sidious we have is fairly early game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it was there from the beginning.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it was. It was.
He was one of the Squad Arena. He was one of the first to purchase in Squad Arena, mate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But like it would make sense to have a new Sidious. I mean, because Palpatine, and you really do have all forms of Sidious except for the one that is,
between the Galactic Republic and the Empire.
You don't have a Chancellor Palpatine Sidious.
No. I mean, you've got there is obviously the Galactic Empire now exists. It's no longer the Galactic Republic. It is the Galactic Empire. But he is still the Supreme Chancellor, and the Senate still exists. So politics and bureaucracies still exist.
Yep.
They just don't exist. Like I said, Moff Tarkin walks in. The Imperial Senate is no longer of a concern of ours. I just had word that the Emperor dissolved dissolved the remnants of, that's it, they're gone. He's dissolved them. Yeah. And then they all start arguing about, how the hell are we going to, manage the galaxy without the Imperial Senate and all the bureaucracies, Fear.
Oh my gosh.
Fear of this battle station. Fear will keep the locals in line.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing's so awesome at being a bad guy.
Yes, he is.
All hail Peter Cushing.
Indeed.
You dead yet?
No, I'm telling you guys, this horny dude he's got some skills. He's keeping me alive.
Is he horny?
He's triple horny?
Is he super horny?
Not super. He's only got 4 horns.
Damn it, this conversation's been so riveting, I forgot to do climbs on a couple of my alts. So, yeah, that would be... and don't forget, there is also one other possibility.
Which is?
Maul. Epic confrontation. Maul is still floating around.
I would love an epic confrontation, Maul.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it, right? Think about it. The Emperor's got complete and utter control. The Emperor's got complete and utter control, right?
Yeah.
Palpatine has complete and utter control. Yeah, sure. The Imperial Senate is there, right? Do you think for a second that Darth Sidious couldn't get Darth Maul, or Maul, however they want to refer to him as? You don't think that he could release him from his incarceration?
Well, he doesn't. I mean, you know what happens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I almost fell off the edge.
No,
right?
what I mean is think about it. When he flew off at the end of the Clone Wars, there's no way that he's going to be flying around out there in a Galactic Republic ship before he gets picked up by somebody.
That's true.
Although saying that, he is evil. So I mean, if somebody picked up his ship, he'd just kill everybody on the other ship and take another ship, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So
he would.
But yeah, I do genuinely believe that there is definite room. There's definite room in there for Maul, and Maul or Sidious would be epic confrontation characters that people want to go for.
Yeah, I agree.
Maul for sure.
I'm right there. Nev, I got to end the stream tonight.
Okay,
I've been
mate.
streaming for 2 hours. Hour and a quarter.
It must be It must be the sparkling conversation and not the gameplay.
It's clearly not the game. Clearly. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I don't know who is actually still on, but appreciate it. And if you're catching this after the fact, please let us know what you guys think. This has been Thaddeus, and as always, I am very grateful for my good friend Nev for coming on and joining me, talking about Star Wars, randomly politics, and just other general stuff. Saturday night or Sunday night random chatting.
Sunday night random.
Yeah. Next week, Friday, we've got the Nev with the Escape Podcast, but also Friday, we've got Falcon and what's it called? So
the Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Winter Soldier and Falcon, yeah. Pretty excited for that. But join us, as always. Remember to check out the links in the section below. Like, subscribe, share. This has been Thaddeus and the Nev from Going Nerdy and the Escape Podcast Stowaways Network, reminding you to smile and stay nerdy.